Good evening. How are you all? Hope you are all well and stuff. I hope you've got through your weekend of conference if you were up there. And if not, what were you doing last weekend? Yeah, so I'm just coming on to practice buttons tonight, see how you guys are, because I've had all sorts of problems with my computer, but it now seems to be fixed, which is really, really good. Very happy. Apparently this is going out on YouTube as well. On Facebook as well. Let me just check. I can see it broadcasting, but I can't actually see it on the thing. I don't know. We'll find out later. It looks like it, but looks can be deceiving. Right, we'll play this tune and we'll be back. Can you hear it now? Hold on. Can you hear it now? This is important. I can also hear myself through this.
Pull the seam. Remember what the colors mean. Each thread a voice, a heart, a vow. We're woven close. We're with you now.
Okay. Good evening, Scotland. Good evening, social media land. I hope you are all very, very well. It's been a little while because I had some serious problems with my computer. I had to reformat the whole hard drive. And if you have a wee look, I'm going to push buttons, but the Stream Deck thing, which is what I use to control the whole stream as well, because I had to reformat the hard drive, I've had to make new buttons. Now they're quite shiny and they're quite good and they're more organised than they were before. But when I was changing cameras there, okay, it basically opened up the secondary mic thing, and I don't know why it did that. So I'm going to go and look at that later tonight. So I'm going to just keep it simple tonight and not do too many crazy things. Just play a couple of songs and leave what I was going to be talking about for another night, because that way I can practice and play and actually end up just speaking to you guys, which is probably an awful lot nicer than anything else, simply because I've not been doing much, have I? Right, listen, what I did want to say and what I did want to talk about over and above what I had for my notes tonight was what happened at the Weekender conference. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to practice with some other buttons. We're going to speak to you guys as well. So let's see, who do we have? We've got Independent Heathen. We've got Alistair. We've got Eddie. Hi, Eddie. We've got Mark Welsh. We've got Zen. Did you recover from your fright on the bus, Zen? That was really funny, by the way. Gary's there. Mr. E's there as well. Listen, thanks, guys, for popping in. I really appreciate it. Next week, I'm going to try and do some daytime shows about lunchtime-ish, because the kids are back at school. My missus will be at work, and I'll have the opportunity to do that now that everything is properly fixed up. So, tour of the desk. Now that it's all set up properly, we've got a little Mac, we've got the conductor's lights, we have some sort of crazy little toy. I don't know why he's there, but he's there. We have two mice, one for... See, that something just jumped up on the screen when I moved the mouse there. We have one for the MacBook, which is there, which controls everything for Discord, and there's people in Discord just now. I've got my Mo account sitting in the green room in Discord, and then my Mo Live sitting on a different account on the PC, here. So if anybody came in and wanted to go live, any of you guys that are on Discord, by the way, you're welcome to come and have a chat with me live at any time at all. Okay, if you just give me a shout and say, hey, I'll just come on live. It's like a phone-in, you know? It'd be pretty good. No, I've not, Gary. I've not sent her a message. I've been kind of like a bit busy with my illness and stuff. I have an appointment tomorrow as well for that, which will be quite interesting. So, at the weekend, there was a massive debate with the SNP, the Members Faithful, and we were discussing John Swinney's proposal for going into the election in 2026. There was a few amendments that were being voted upon. I think one or two were kept in, and they were the ones to do with the EU and something else, but the main one was Amendment A. That was what was known as the Tweeddale Amendment. This is where a whole bunch of branches of the SNP had come together and said, we want to use 2026 as a de facto, a plebiscite referendum on the list. Okay? And if we get a majority of any yes-leaning party, so Alapa, Greens, SNP, any independent people for independence, ISP, things like that, every cross in a box for them would be a cross in the box for independence. Okay, that's what it would be about. That's what it would be for. So we debated and we voted, and I voted for that. I thought that was a great idea because all it did was enhance what John Swinney had already done. It didn't mean that anybody from the SNP had to go out and campaign for another party. They could still campaign on SNP 1 and 2. It didn't mean that it was going to be bad for the SNP. It actually galvanised the entire movement to come forward and be part of what could have been a fantastic yes movement again. It would have been incredible. Can you imagine that? You know, can you imagine saying to the population of Scotland, we are going to take a poll. We are going to take a poll on the list for any yes party of independence, any party at all that is pro-independence is going to be counted in a plebiscite. We might not get it recognised. It might not be recognised. In fact, the chances are it would never get recognised. But what an idea, what an inspiring thing that would be to the entire nation to say, vote yes on the list. Vote yes on the list. That's all you have to do. I reckon it would have brought back apathetic voters that while they were there, they would have probably given the SNP their constituency vote. You know? I think it's a shame. However, you know me as not being a party man. Okay, I will still vote the way I want to vote. But I will campaign, as I have always said, very hard for the SNP in the constituencies, because I believe that is the right thing to do. And I would ask you all to do the same, no matter how hard you feel this is a mistake, because I think it's a mistake. I think that there's something, you know, we've kind of lost something there. The potential of something utterly incredible, to be perfectly honest. You know, it's crazy to think that could have gone. Anyway, that's one of the things I wanted to speak to you about. I'm going to play a song in a second, and I'm going to type to you as we speak to you while we play the song. I'm going to come back. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to campaign up until the election. So let's see if my jingle buttons work, and I'll play you a new song.
We move together, no one left behind.
us high. Every step a promise kept. The storm is ours now. No more waiting. We move together, no one left behind. One road forward, one state of mind. This is the push, this is the sound. We are the people, and we're not backing down. We move together, no one left behind. One road forward, one state of mind. This is the push, this is the sound. We are the people, and we're not backing down.
Radio Saorsa, bringing you creamy chocolatey sounds through the night. Buttons seem to be working now. I think, which is okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that does sound very audio slavish. I quite like that. That all the music that you hear here, I write the lyrics for. Okay, I'm a published poet. I actually have a proper poetry book that you can buy. I'm not telling you where to buy it, okay? And I like to write words. That's my thing. But I have no musical talent whatsoever. But so I use, please don't be too upset. I use AI to create the music. Okay, I know that some people don't like that and it takes away from the industry, but I want to write music for the movement. And that particular song was about us in the hall having the debate. Okay, so what am I going to be doing? How do I feel that I want to, how am I going to take things forward, right? Well, I spoke to the guys afterwards. We were all feeling a bit emotionally bruised, okay? And the way that I liken it is if you imagine that you've got a pot of seawater and you've boiled it down to the salt. And the seawater was all the independent strategies that we've ever had, right? And we've only got the salt left now. And that's it. So what do? We have to understand that in 2029, over and above what we're doing in 2026, and you guys should be terrified of this, Nigel Farage is looking like he will be the Prime Minister. He is a fascist. He wants to get rid of the human rights stuff from Europe. He wants to make our lives worse, but he is such a wonderfully charismatic snake oil salesman that he's got the working class of England wrapped round his little finger. That terrifies me. It terrifies me for my children. It terrifies me for all the unborn Scots. It terrifies me for you guys. Because in 2029, after he has handed a majority, an unstoppable majority, he will just steamroller over our democracy. He will not care. This is why 2026 is so very important. We have to get an SNP majority. That is the salt we are left with. We have to get an SNP majority because we need to be further down the road to independence. Because the last thing that Starmer can do as he is leaving is produce that Section 30 if that's going to be the way that John Swinney goes. Who knows what John Swinney is going to do if he gets a majority, by the way? You know, because, I mean, the impression seems to be that he's wanting to go for a Section 30 in a referendum. But looking back in retrospect, at the end of the debate, there was something about him. It was like, oh, we're going to do this. And it wasn't put on. It's like, come on then. You know, that's what it was like. It was like, that's not the man that I taught how to use the checkouts at Asda. I think there's more to this than meets the eye, but I could not tell you what it is in the slightest. At all. But no matter how you feel about them, your first vote must go to the SNP. You must be willing to campaign at least digitally. Okay, so I have, let me just do this just now. I have my own SNP pages, okay, because I was a candidate and stuff like that. Please take a screen capture of these particular things, okay? So you have my lazy links for the SNP, which will give you my Facebook, my Blue Sky, my TikTok, and my something else, Instagram. That's it. And then you can join the SNP for £1 if you want to. I'm not asking you to, okay, but that's there for other people. All right, so that is my lazy link. Please go and follow, and everything I put up on the SNP page is going to be campaigning stuff. I'm going to be live streaming from there as well, and I'll be putting out the radio station, I've got specific jingles made for the SNP that I'm going to be putting out on there during the day on a 2-hour loop all the time. But that's really important, okay? If you're going to campaign and you don't know where to start, go to my page. Go to all my pages, just like and share and comment and push that stuff out. Please, 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 please. Okay? Really important. Cannot emphasize that enough. Right? We need an SNP majority. Your second vote, make it yes. The people that did the Tweeddale thing, they're not going to remain silent. He's definitely not going to remain silent at all. There's already been one meeting. I personally think that there's a lot more upbeat stuff that we could do and say about that. There's nothing wrong with us here just now. Everybody that's in this little chat room tomorrow, or say by this time next week, go and convince 4 or 5 complete strangers to vote yes on the list. Get them to go and bring one other person to vote yes on the list. Okay? That's what it's about. Okay? We need to turn around and have those conversations at the coffee machine at work, in the queues at Tesco's, at the petrol stations when you're filling up your car. These are the places where people have these conversations. It's necessary. Let's have a quick look at the chit. You've been a member for years, yes. Swinney will make reform the second biggest in Holyrood. I don't know. Depends if reform put just list people or they put constituency people. I hope they put both, because they'll take away from the Tory and the Labour vote. I really do, BB. I don't think it's a matter of convincing people like us. You're absolutely right. It's the dumb electorate that need convincing. And without mainstream media, we're fooked. Yes, we are. Yeah. Do you know what we need, Andy? We need to understand that this is the last 6 months that Scotland's going to have. Until, let's say we get a majority, and let's say we're going the Section 30 route, then yes, there's going to be that great campaign for yes. But I think we should start it now. And I think that the greatest thing that we've got is social media. And I mean, it doesn't reach everybody, but it can reach people that can reach everybody. You know, so for instance, everybody knows somebody that's got Facebook. Everybody knows somebody that's probably got a Twitter or a TikTok or something like that. It doesn't mean that you guys have to go out and create. You've got people like me, you've got other people, you've got people like Lisa that does stuff on TikTok, you've got people like Kunyich who does great voiceovers on Facebook and YouTube. You've got all these people, and all you guys have to be willing to do is 15 minutes of activism. That is it. When you're taking a poop in the morning, when you've got your phone, and you're doom scrolling, take 10 seconds, like, share, that was a great post, boom. Do that for 15 minutes in a day with as many pro-independence posts as you possibly can. You're doing more than what the National does. You reach more people than the National does. Okay, I swear to God. And let me just put that up. Go to the other, there's another one for you to screen capture, the other lazy links. That is all my ones. Okay, there's always stuff on there that you can share. There's always stuff on there you can share. I don't do this for clout. This is not what I'm about. I do this because I want Scottish independence. I do this, my channel's not monetized. I keep getting emails from YouTube saying, if you give us this, you can be monetized. And I'm like, no, I am not going to monetize my channel. I don't want to make money from the independence movement. Even though that would just be adverts and things, but it's your time if you're watching the friggin' adverts, you know? But no, at the end of the day, it's up to us just to do 15 minutes of activism. Your 15 minutes has a greater effect than you can possibly imagine. It really, really does. And see, if you got into that habit and you added a specific hashtag, we'll talk about the hashtags next time. I don't want to overwhelm some people, all right? But think about it. Okay, if you start adding hashtags and different things and specific keywords into your comments, it then broadens it even more. Right, we're going to play a song again in a second. Which one? Let me get it queued up. Over here, so I can read it. What was that? That was my headphones. We are going to play another new one. We're going to play We Decide. Alright, we'll do that in a second. Let me just read the comments though. Thanks, Mr. E. I'm of the opinion now that I hope Swinney gets his majority just to call us bluff. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very positive thing to be thinking, Andy. I've had about 4 or 5 different comments and from friends as well, and calls from friends saying, I hope Swinney does this so we can call us bluff. I hope he gets it. So let's campaign for it, because the worst thing that can happen is we've got an SNP majority, and the worst thing that can happen is we have an SNP majority, you know? So there we go. Right, let's play this, and then we will be playing a song.
You promised light but gave us dark, took our strength and left a mark. Power stolen, truth denied. They spoke in London while we cried. You took the wind, you took the flame, left us silence, left us blame. But whispers grow where chains once lie. The ground remembers how to rise, but the wind still turns these turbines. The strength was always mine. I am not an afterthought, I am the headline. The union has failed, I'm still standing tall. They talk, but we deliver through it all. Every promise broken is another line I cross. This time it's ours, we decide the cause. these turbines, strength was always mine. I am not an afterthought, I am the headline. The union has failed, I'm still standing tall. They talk, but we deliver through it all. Every promise broken is another line I cross. This time it's ours, we decide the cost. Can do with these chains. Imagine what we'll build when nothing remains. A people of power, a promise to keep. The land awakens from its sleep. No more shadows, no more disguise. This time the fire is ours to rise. The union has failed and the tide is high. The fire's alive beneath this sky. No more waiting, no more lies. This time it's ours, we decide.
So Swinney's bluff gets called, and it's a busted flush. Another 5 to 10 years before the movement gets the traction needed again. I think, Martin, it's worse than that. Okay, because I think that it will be done for my lifetime, your lifetime, potentially my children's lifetime. Okay, because of the rise of the right wing. It frustrates the crap out of me, but I do actually think that John Swinney gets the rise of the fascists because of the way that he was speaking at conference. He understands that. There's only one other politician in the whole of the UK that gets fascists, and that's Zach Polanski, the new Green leader. He was calling them out something stupid last week. We need a cool, like Jack person up here, somebody that will just look them in the eye and say, "Go and fuck off, mate." You know, that is kind of what we need right now. So I agree with you. We won't get traction after this, but that's why we need traction now. That's why you guys, 15 minutes of activism like a day is so damn important. I cannot emphasize that enough. I'm taking my headset off because I can't hear myself speak with these ones on. Their new ones. They're very posh. Okay. Because if I start shouting, my wife will come through and go, "Would you stop shouting at those people on the internet?" Sorry, missus. Anyway, let's have a quick look. What else? The arrogance of politicians, Swinney acting like the big man when the movement is unity. Yeah. I find the whole thing... That was my daughter. It's okay. I find the whole thing frustrating as well. The upside, Martin, is that we do have Believe in Scotland and the SNP doing that signy thing. Okay, now that might be a case of like, hey, is that just lip service? Knowing Gordon McIntyre Kemp and being in one of his meetings last 2 weeks ago or the week before conference, he was getting a lot of stick from certain members of Believe in Scotland about this, about what people might be thinking. And he was like, well, who else? Listen, I have worked my ass off to get this. And nobody, if you look how distanced the SNP was from the movement, but now they're working with Believe in Scotland. Yeah, it's an election year, Mo. Of course it's an election year. But the fact that the Yes movement is basically at that table, he's got his phone number to be able to go and do shit, is massive compared to where we were even just 3 weeks ago. You know? I was thinking SNP and Trough, but watched podcast of the Believe in Scotland guy got me thinking. Yeah. Gordon McIntyre Kemp, Alan, is a decent bloke, alright? I rate him highly, and I'm going to tell you why in a second, okay? Believe in Scotland have been apolitical all the time. People think that they're SNP. They're not just SNP, they're Green, they're Alapa, they're everybody, alright? There's been issues with communications with Alapa before, once, I believe, and something to do with the Greens not wanting to share a stage with Alapa at their events. Stuff like that, alright? Petty stuff, not Believe in Scotland stuff. Petty political bullshit, alright? Please, everybody, fight like cats and dogs inside Holyrood. Be dicks to each other, but see outside, we're all after the same thing. And it would go a long way for every one of them to all stand on a stage and flex together. We want friggin' independence, you know? This last week, right-wing nonsense in my social media feed. Yeah, it's been crazy. Preemptive, didn't know what's coming. I watched it. Alright, yeah. The Believe in Scotland thing, right, yeah. Okay, so why do I think Gordon McIntyre Kemp's a decent bloke? Okay, so many of you guys know that I have an illness which will not go away. It was diagnosed about 11 weeks ago. Where are we just now? It doesn't matter. This will eventually make me cross the Rainbow Bridge, right? That's how serious it is, okay? I mean, I didn't tell anybody, but I made a little video about 90 seconds long explaining why I had not been making content. I wondered why I was fatiguing so much, right? But it turned out it's a lung cancer, by the way. It's really nasty, okay? And I don't even smoke. Okay, so I made a video and I put it out because I wanted people to know and understand why I wasn't making content as much. And within a day of me putting that out, Gordon had emailed me basically saying, "We're really sorry to hear about you. Please know that you've got friends here and Believe in Scotland and we're all thinking of you." He did not have to do that. You know, who am I? I'm just a guy on a screen with a microphone and a friggin' camera and a set of buttons that work and don't work sometimes, you know? That's why he's good. His son's very good as well. And I've been to quite a lot of the events, the Believe in Scotland events, where I'm a stakeholder in them. I pay them money each month to be part of what they do. I want to be part of their steering group, so I'm going to put myself forward for election to be part of their committees next time. I have the time. So, yeah. This is what I think will give us a bit of momentum. However, we need to do our 15 minutes of activism. I have a distinct timeline on everything just now, okay? I have a want and a need for independence that burns greater than it did 10 weeks ago. So I want people to do their 15 minutes of activism. And I want you guys to go and speak to people about what you're doing today for independence. See if you don't do shit like this. See if you don't go out of your way to speak to somebody, at least one person a day, about independence. How can you call yourself an independence activist? That's not being critical to you guys. Okay? My job is to try and inspire you guys. You know, my job is to try and make you want to go out and speak to people. That is what my job is about. To provide, to experience the movement the way that I do, and allow you guys to experience it through me, so I can do my best to say, go and fucking do 15 minutes of activism. Now. Not right now, tomorrow morning. When you're taking a poop, when you're standing at the bus stop, when you're waiting in line, everybody doom scrolls, everybody does it. This is what you want to do. What time is it? Right, we've got time for 2 more songs. We're going to finish with my favourite, but we're going to do one that I have to play every single time. If I don't play it, I get into trouble. So we'll play it now.
Radio Saorsa. We are only here for Scottish independence.
They draw the lines, they call the shots. Take what's ours and leave us not. We see through their tired game. Scotland's rising won't be tamed. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence. No more waiting, no more chains. We'll stand together, break the race. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence, for independence. They say we're small, they say we're weak, but listen close. When Scotland speaks, our wealth is strong, our hearts are true. We know exactly what to do. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence. No more waiting, no more chains. We'll stand together, break the race. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence, for independence. They say we're small, they say we're weak, but listen close. When Scotland speaks, our wealth is strong, our hearts are true. We know exactly what to do. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence. No more waiting, no more chains. We'll stand together, break the race. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence, for independence. No more lies, no more fear. Our time is now, our day is here. The future's ours, let's take the call. We rise as one, we rise for all. We build the wind, we sail the seas, we feed the world, we plant the trees. Scotland's future, bold and bright, time to stand and claim our right. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence, for independence. Independence for independence.
Love that song. Yeah, I play that at the marches and people come up and speak to me and go, I've heard that on other people's videos. What is it? And I say, I wrote the words, stuck in an AI and said, make me a rock and roll song about Scotland using these words with a catchy chorus. And it did just that. It did just that. Listen, thank you very much, everybody, for your very kind words. Okay. It means a lot to me. It really does. My window to the world is pretty much this now. I find it very difficult to... I get puffed out and lose my breath walking to Asda. That's my work, and it's 10 minutes walk, 5 minutes walk for me normally. It now takes me 10 to 15 just to go shopping. And I work my day out in spoons. I have 10 spoons of energy. I only want to use 8. I keep 2 in reserve in case I need to get home. Okay, that's what I do with that. I don't use spoons in the house. So I have this to be able to do things with. I have a great family. I have a great medical team. And I have a great extended family, which is you guys. I really appreciate every one of you. You have no idea. Now go and do your 15 minutes of activism. Mo says do 15 minutes of activism. Okay. Right. I like this camera because it moves about. It's actually built into the MacBook. It's going to be a tough 6 months. It really, really, really is. The right-wing propaganda machine is going to come down on us like nobody's business. They're going to be expressing how shit Scotland is, and we're going to want to fight back against that, and some of us will have to. But it's important that we keep speaking to the people that we need to convince, the soft people that are yes. Now, let's be perfectly fair just now, right? Let me come back to this camera. What does the union actually have that Scotland wants? You can ask that to anyone, and if they say, oh, I can't afford this, we can't afford it, bullshit. Okay, we'll talk about money next time. Right, we're going to finish tonight because it is 22:53 and I promised my son would watch a couple of Echoes. Hi, Sky! We just played your song. Just played your song. We're going to leave tonight with a different song. Not Sky's song, unfortunately. And I've forgotten what I was going to say because Sky's there and I needed to say hello to her. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. So let me just finish with this particular little song, and I will. What day is it today? Today is Thursday. Maybe come back on tomorrow night. Maybe, depending. See how I feel after I've been to the clinic. We might celebrate something, or we might just get drunk. I don't know. Anyway, let's play it with this.
We've carried the weight of silence too long. Our story is written in every song. The banners we raise are made from the crowd. Together we whisper, together we're loud. This choice is ours. No one can steal the strength of a nation, the truth we feel. Stand up. turned away, thinking nothing can change. Remember the day when we dreamed on that stage. One more can still echo the sound of a yes. Your second choice matters, it speaks what we press. The torch is unbroken, it passes again, from mother and fathers to children of the glen. This moment is ours, the people are clear, the future is waiting, the dawn's drawing near. This choice is ours, forever strong. The will of the people has led us along. Stand up, let your voice be free. Mark the future for all to see. Not by orders, not by command, but by the will of this ancient land.
Listen, thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out tonight. It was good to push some buttons, good to have some chat, and I'll be back again very soon. That was the wrong button. That's the right button. God damn it. Right one day.
rivers run silver, the seas burn gold. Stories of plenty that were never told, taken from mountains, stolen from shore. Now they are ours forevermore. Light breaks through, shadows fall. The truth was hidden, now we see it all. We are living like we're free, boundless skies and endless sea. Every lie has come undone. The dawn is here, the day is won.
Welcome to Radio Saorsa. My name is Mo. I am an independence activist who has been making Scottish independence content for years. I'm a firm believer in the liberation of our nation and work tirelessly with the Saorsa team to fight the good fight. Scotland has no 24-hour independence media, no TV channel, no radio station, no voice that speaks for our liberty around the clock. Until now. Radio Saorsa will broadcast its content 24/7 on this YouTube channel, uninterrupted radio style. We are here because the truth matters, because Scotland has been lied to, silenced, dismissed for too long, because Westminster says no. No referendum, no choice, no future beyond their control.